Hello silver bugs, silver stackers, the silver community. This is Scrooge McDale, and I've just gotten some new silver in the mail, so I'm going to do a little bit of a review and give you some of my thoughts about my current silver stack and my silver situation. I'm debuting a new drinking mug. This is a gold-rimmed classical rose style china. And my family has had these for a while, and this was my everyday coffee and tea drinking cup for a long while, and then I don't know, it fell out of fashion, or I didn't really have it available for a while, but now this is certainly going to be my silver review drinking cup, and it's also my daily coffee cup at the moment, and I'm having some coffee with a rare splash of milk and a little sugar, which is extremely rare for me. Usually I drink it black. Black is sin. Alright, here's the update. I've got some new bars and another novelty ounce of silver and some rounds. But first of all, let me just go ahead and talk about my feelings about my current stack. Well, I'm mostly into bars. I like the size and the feel of the 1 ounce bars. The ones I've already reviewed so far that I've mentioned are these bars. What I really like is the fact that they are commodities, but you don't really have to baby them. You can, fondle them, count them, and not really worry too much about damaging their inherent value, because basically you just get the manufacturer's name on them, and they work as pieces of art unto themselves. But it's often, it's funner for me just to really be able to touch the silver and really not really have to worry about protecting it or its numismatic value. But I've run up into a wall. You see, my desires are stretching beyond the boundaries of what's available online. I've used 3 online sellers, Provident, JM Bullion, and I've also used AppMex, and I've had good experiences with all 3, but the trouble is they don't have any more bars that I haven't already bought, and I want one of each. If something strikes my fancy, I'm not going to ever be like a big stacker. Really, it's just sort of a small hobby, and this is like I'm using my disposable income in a hobby sort of a facility, right? Like this is not going to be an investment medium. This is just sort of like me building up some hobby items. Well, anyway, now my desires are stretching out into the realm of the rounds, but I'm encountering this trouble where I feel unsafe pulling them out of their little sleeves, because I don't want to really mar up the faces or the designs on them and damage the value, which might be just a couple dollars more than the melt value right now, but later, 3 or 4, 20 years down the line, maybe like if I have a scuffed up round, I'm only going to get a portion of whatever the numismatic value might be on top of the melt value, which for me, it's just creating this dissonance, because I would rather take the rounds out, toss them in the box, play with them, and be free to hand them over to friends to show them, display them or whatever, and not really worry about it too much. But I don't know, if there was an infinite amount of rounds that were just made by manufacturers that were just strict utilitarian bars, just strict utilitarian bars, I would feel better about it, and I would feel more pleased with my collection. But as it stands, there's really nothing else to buy but rounds, and they are quite beautiful. And right now, even I'm ordering I'm going to get a 2013 Bison from Canada, and I'm also about to order a 14 Kook, and I'm going to get one of those brand new Crocs. A Croc, that's right. And probably that's going to do it for me for a little while, because I'll just, I've pretty much met all my needs or my goals by getting the rounds that I'm about to show you now. So there's not much out there left for me, and as a strict collector of kind of like one of each of what I like. So without further ado, let's move right into what I did recently purchase. I'm going to take advantage of that May Madness mobile thing on Provident, because you get into the running for an ounce of gold if you do an order. So that's probably what's going to facilitate this this final little buy of a Croc, a Kook, and a Bison. So let's start with the novelty round first. I got an ounce of I got a 45 ACP silver bullet round, and these are pretty cool. I like the bigger ones too. I like the 2 ounce tall one, the rifle cartridge, but it's It's well detailed, it's well done. There's no manufacturer mark on it, but it's just got 1 ounce AG 999. This is really going to demonstrate the problems with my camera as I start trying to display these pieces. But if you're into silver, you know what they look like anyway, and I'm just going to tell you my thoughts. That's the main reason I'm doing this, and to show, I guess, the full stack for people who are into it. But anyway, as an opinion of mine, it is the opinion of me that this is a pretty cool round. 45 ACP handgun round. So, the silver bullet. I like it. Now, we'll go into the bars. I got a Geiger bar. I think it's quite beautiful. Okay, and it's got this building on the front. This is a little bit different in the size than regular bars. As a comparative gesture here, I'm going to show you a little bit smaller, a little thicker. It's ridged on the outside, or whatever you call that. So it's got some scalloping or something. I don't like that it's different size than the conventional modern 1 ounce bar, but you know, it does distinguish itself a bit, and it looks good on top of the stack, I suppose. Building is immense. The building looks nice. I wonder what's going on in there. This piece is a fine collection to my bars. Geiger. Edel Metal, 1 ounce fine silver, $9.99. So goodbye. This one caught my attention. One that got away from me was on J & Bullion's site, and it was, I forgot, but it was one bar that was only listed up there for a few months, and I didn't want to do their $100 purchase of to get their free shipping or their minimum order, so I didn't buy it. But I did research the company, and they were in the news for some big fine they had done for their. They were fined heavily. So to have that added little bit of history behind a bar would be really interesting to me, to know a little bit more about these companies, their legal battles, their history, their direction. So I'm going to do a little, I guess that's just what I'm trying to say, is I'm going to do a little bit more research on these individual bars as I get some free time to, you know, check it out, because it's interesting. I want to know what this building's all about. I'm going to go ahead and get this stacked. I got a Golden Mint bar, Golden State Mint. This one caught my attention when I was buying my very first bars, but I opted not to buy it, so it's good to finally get one in the quiver. There's something about bars I really like. I like the fact that they have these cool designs on the back, the repeating designs, making for an aesthetic element, and then you get the utilitarian, you know, statement of, you know, the manufacturer. So this one is also really nice. I like it quite a bit. The Golden State Mint bar. Quite beautiful. Alright, let's get that back. Sorry everyone, let me get that one stacked for the full display of the entire stack at the end of the program. Alright, now we get into the other rounds. I did go for one of the 1/2 ounce Great White Sharks. I think I paid a pretty good premium on this one. I don't know what they were charging over spot, but I thought, you know, I'm only picking the animals I like, and I do definitely like the Great White Shark. And it is a beautiful coin. Yep. It's got a flat kind of an appearance, not really too shiny, except for on the shark's body. And these very stylized, artistic sharks swimming around behind the major player. And on the back, this is an Australian 50-cent piece, so we get Elizabeth there. She is gracing this coin. So a Great White Shark. This is the only 1/2 ounce piece I own. I'm straying from anything that's listed in grams. I don't want anything like that. I just want straight ounces. Ounce, ounce, ounce. But I did opt for this just because it's so cool. It's got the shark on it. Swimming. Here's a Canadian pronghorn antelope. Now here's where we run into the trouble. I want to take it right out of this. I have taken it out. I've played with it just a little bit, but I don't really want to mar it up, but at the same time I don't want to baby it, so I don't know really what to do here. I'm probably just going to wind up just dashing, throwing my concern into the wind and just taking them out. But the antelope, the pronghorn antelope, which is a Canadian Wildlife Series round. So quite beautiful. And the camera, I mean, you know, I do apologize. Like, I'm probably going to update my iPod to a 5th gen, which is going to really like double the quality of the camera. So, but that's in the works, really. So here we have Elizabeth again, and this is a $5 face value Canadian coin with an antelope on the back. And I love wildlife, and of all the wildlife that's been featured on the Wildlife series so far, I just picked up the ones I liked, and then that one was the antelope. And let's go ahead and I'll show you the other one that I got. Okay, this one is a peregrine falcon. Also quite beautiful. Oops. Didn't want to miss one. So it's a bird of prey from the Bird of Prey series. I think this is the first in the series. Another thing I like is that, like for instance on the maple, the first and only maple I've ever bought is the 2014 maple that has these ridged lines coming out from the leaf, making it a unique design element that was just added for 2014. So I think that's pretty cool to get these first round things, and if they do increase in numismatic value, then it'd probably be good to have the first of the first. Another reason why I should probably be keeping them in these nice sleeves. So I'm really torn. You can tell that I'm having trouble with this because I love just having the coins be free. I don't really want to keep them encapsulated, but I also don't want to, you know, lose a lot of value. So the falcon, it's just very dangerous. This falcon will eat the flesh of other creatures. Very fierce. Very, very fierce. Okay, now 2 more pieces. I guess this is going to round it out. I did get a Angel of Independence Mexican Libertad. Now, you will have to, I suppose, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at better pictures. But they've got 2 volcanoes here in the back, and then the angel on her pedestal there. And I don't like the aesthetic of this coin on this side. The reason I bought it, and what I do really love, are all these different designs on the back, which is the individual like coats of arms of the Mexican principalities or regions. And you do get a great variety of cool designs on the back, and it looks very beautiful, very flat. There's no shimmering element of this to this coin at all. It's all a uniform, flat, maybe like burnished, you know, not mirror finished. No mirror finish to speak of on this. And then they've kept this design for a long while. I noticed that even the older ones, they don't really have any value on top of the, you know, the bullion value. But it's cool just to have one of them in the stable. So there we go with that one. And the final one, this was one I wrestled with a bit, but this is a Britannia, the 2014 Britannia. And this may or may not be the first year they've listed this as $9.99. So I read recently on the forum that these used to not be $9.99. They were like more of an antique, lesser percentage of silver, and they weigh just a little more. You still got an ounce, but they've recently made them $9.99s. I don't know if that started in 2013 or 14. But this is far more beautiful in person than I thought it was going to be, and I think it's also got kind of like this around the edge. It has like a gear appearance on the inside of the design of the coin, on the scalloped edge, a reeded edge or something. And Elizabeth, once again, this is a 2-pound coin, Britannia. And the beauty of it is pretty striking, and I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it as much as I am enjoying it. So I don't know if I'm going to continue collecting these yearly coins. So like if next year's Britannia looks terrible, I probably just won't get it. And like the kook I'm going to order, like if next year's kook looks bad, maybe I'll just, you know, just settle for having just one. But what I really want is for manufacturers to put out strict utilitarian bullion bars that have a nice aesthetic, and then I would be a much happier stacker. But let's just go ahead and get going with a full stack to finish the video, because Start back here. I'm not sure how many ounces I've got of silver, but it's not a lot. Of course, it's not very much. But I've enjoyed this hobby. And here's everything I've covered so far in my stacking career. Flip that bad boy over. We're going to just stack it to the roof, aren't we? Oops, let's stack it to the roof. I just broke my ankle, everyone. I broke my ankle. My full silver, I guess I've stacked since December, so not very staggering. It's not going to fall over and bury me. If it fell on me right now, it would probably, at the most, cover a small portion of my socked foot. But anyway, I love reading up on the silver forums, the Silver Bugs forum, and checking out what's available, and the beauty of these pieces cannot be denied. And thanks for tuning in to my updated silver stacking video.